You go. Okay. Just jump right into it. Why wait? Why waste time, kids? First, I gotta get this little paper out.
You sound so important.
Thank you. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Geekcast podcast. My name is Dan Whitehead.
Patrick Howard.
Greg St. Clair.
He is back. He is guest starring
I'm
for
here.
The Greginator.
I'm here.
one episode.
I had nothing else going on. So
And Gerald couldn't make it. He had some stuff going on tonight.
I was pretty much begged to be
Because he
here.
has responsibilities.
I wouldn't say beg. Let's not go that far.
Where could we put cameras in here if we did the iPhone thing?
Probably one towards the back corner over there.
Right
Maybe
there.
like one right here for you.
Yeah, but it'd be weird to break the 180. I think you'd have to go over
True.
here somewhere.
True.
Maybe one there.
What if they're like both here, like in this? Like,
Unless we both did them this way.
yeah, I mean they could both be
One
like
there,
in
one
this.
there.
How
Yeah,
much are those 360 cameras? Those
expensive as shit.
really?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're not worth it.
Well, there's an app that Dan found not for the iPad. You know what it's called?
Mm-hmm.
What's it called?
I have to look. Switcher Pro, I think.
Switcher Pro, where you can via Bluetooth sync up your iPhone to this app, and kind of like how they do the Tonight Show with live taping, you can like cut between cameras and edit it on the app.
That's cool.
Live switching for
Yeah,
us professionals, you know.
whatever.
So this is
It's pretty
episode.
cool.
This is episode 37 of the Geekcast podcast. Not really that eventful of a number, but got to get to 40, got to get to 50. So keep plugging
Dan
away.
doesn't
Here.
like odd numbers.
I don't like odd numbers.
It's weird.
Weirds me out.
To mess with him, I'll put my radio station or the TV on like volume 19 or 27, and he basically just has like a mini panic attack, kind of like Jack from Incredibles, where he just kind of like shakes and gets really angry.
It turns to steel and turns to
Pretty-
fire.
Yeah, it's exactly what happens actually.
Yeah.
True facts.
I just,
This is loose, man.
you know what else is loose?
Balls.
Goosey?
Loose goose.
Goose?
Loose goose.
Gus
Yep.
Bus.
Gus Bus.
Athlete. Amazing.
See, how much more fun is it? Nothing against Gerald, but we just like get right into it, like nothing's changed. Rip right
It's
into
because
the
Gerald's all about business. I'm not that much about business.
No, you're right. He's the one that got us into this listing. We used to wing it.
We did used to
You know
wing
what?
it.
Fuck this.
You know, we talked about doing lists, but we would have it like available if we ever like got off track with something. But most of the time, we just go on these tangents. It's pretty much what happens.
Right.
Yeah,
Like we're
but
doing right now.
Right now.
Focus is key, though. For
Look at this
podcasts.
guy. He's a business guy now. He's all about
Yes, Mom.
Well, yeah, people are
It's
listening.
good to stay on topic, okay? All right. Well, for D, Patrick, Mom here, we're going to get started. So last night,
Last night,
being Friday,
Friday.
no, Saturday. I have my days mixed up because of school.
School's tomorrow, dude. First day of school.
I had no
Yay.
classes, though, on Monday, which is nice. I just work.
I only have one from like 3:30 to 6:10.
My sociology just got canceled, actually.
Oh, that's sweet, dude.
First day,
Yeah.
canceled. Always a good sign.
Yeah.
So yesterday being Saturday, the three of us, Greg's girlfriend Taylor,
Hi, Taylor.
and Nate Schrader came with us, and we all went and saw Split, which is the new M. Night Shyamalan movie, which follows James McAvoy, who has multiple. It's not called multiple personality. It's called
It's DID.
yes.
I think this is so.
Dissociative identity disorder.
Yep, there it is. He's got that, and he kidnaps 3 girls. This is all from the trailer, so it's not like a spoiler. He kidnaps 3 girls, and they kind of have to work with the different personalities to try to figure out a way out, because obviously some are nicer than others, and so they have to kind of like time it out and things like that.
It's wild.
Do we want to do a spoiler review, or are we just?
Yeah, I
keeping
say
it-
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, we
Definitely.
can. So at this point, going forward, we're going to have spoilers in it. So if you haven't seen it, do see it. It is really interesting, and James McAvoy knocks it out of the park with his performances. He had to do he has 23 roles or personalities, but you only see maybe 5.
You see Barry, Hedwig, Dennis, Miss Patricia, the Beast, Kevin.
Kevin, and then there's a few.
And then
on
you
the,
see some
on
on
the,
the
you see some
monitor.
videos
On the
of
monitor.
Jade, and
There's
there's
like 9 or 7.
you at least see 9 or 10.
9.
Yeah, either way, they're all like different enough that you could kind of tell, as long as you keep track of the names, that you could see the difference between them. He even like emotes differently, or just has
Really
physical
changes his
different.
clothes. Yeah.
So
You can tell he was a theater actor in England before he ever came over here to the States.
He's actually Scottish.
Is he Scottish?
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't mean he didn't do theater acting in England.
Yeah, true. But he's actually Scottish.
You can tell he was probably a theater actor beforehand, though.
Yeah. This is definitely like more of a showcase for him than
Mhm.
than anything.
I kind of like it kind of was. But I'd love to see him do like a one-man show like off Broadway somewhere. That'd be fun too.
This basically was a one-man show. But
I know,
yeah,
but
that would be cool to see.
I think
yeah.
we see like finally see like a play or something too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure Broadway is coming for him. Most of these actors at one point or another decide to do Broadway just to really like show their acting chops, because there's that old expression, you haven't made it until you've made it on Broadway.
You at least got to do it once.
So
yeah.
you can always beat Denzel Washington, who did it 3 times in like 8 years or something like
That's
that.
Denzel. He's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One of them being Fences, which he then made into the movie, which was fantastic.
Yes.
But we already talked about that. So Split, spoilers going forward from here. If you haven't seen it, stop here. Go see it. Come back. Hopefully you come back. If not, stick with us, and here we go. So who wants to kind of dive into it?
I kind of want to see Patrick struggle a little bit.
All right, Patrick, what's it about?
Thanks. Well, you kind of already explained it, but it's about these 3 girls. The main one that we really follow is named Casey,
Mm-hmm.
played by Anya Taylor-Joy, who was in The Witch, and also she was in another movie. But she
Morgan.
Morgan, yeah,
She was Morgan.
beautiful girl, but she does also have like very kind of off-putting look, especially with the eyes. I think so.
I don't know if it's off-putting, but yeah,
It's definitely eye
Let Patrick
catching.
do his thing.
But yeah,
You're right.
So yeah, this one day they're kidnapped by James McAvoy, whose real name is Kevin, but like you said, he has 23 personalities, and one of them is Dennis, who's very like stern, OCD-ish, very like unstable, to say the least. Patricia, who's like a British woman.
Miss Patricia.
Miss Patricia. Hedwig, who's this 9-year-old boy, who's probably my favorite personality from the movie.
I like Barry. and
Barry, the
Patricia a
gay
lot, too.
fashion designer.
Yeah.
And so they kind of wake up in this bunker of sorts, his bunker, and they kind of have to figure out how to get out, but also why James McAvoy has these disorders and like what the beast is, which is something that all of his personalities keep on talking about. They keep on building up that this beast is coming and it's going to kill
The girls.
it's going to kill the girls, especially the ones who are unpure. And so we spend all this time just figuring out, okay, when is this beast going to come? And then eventually we find out 2 twists, which I argue it's kind of 2 twists. One's very more subtle than the other one. But I think, is that good?
Yeah, well, let's say what the twists are.
Okay, well, the first twist, I think, is near the climax, James McAvoy, as the beast, has killed the other 2 girls. Casey's the survivor. And just right when he is about to kill her, he realizes that she is also a victim of abuse from her childhood. And he always says that, like, the ones who are broken are the most evolved. So he kind of, like, just leaves her alone and just disappears from the movie. And then she is rescued by some workers at this local zoo, which is another twist. That, okay, this is where we've been at the whole time, is at underground basement of this Philadelphia Zoo. And then she's taken care of. And then as the movie goes along, we do get some backstory on Casey, and that she was also, like I said, a victim of sexual abuse from her uncle. And so there was this really, really kind of chilling moment when she's in the police car, and the officer says that her uncle's here to pick her up. And they have this quick little exchange like, okay, is she going to go with him, or is she going to tell the cop of, his history with her? So they kind of leave it open-ended for us to decide what we think. And then the last twist, which is like the big one, which is like the last 15 seconds, is at this bar, and we're seeing this news report of the guy who killed these 2 girls and almost killed Casey. And then one of the women, there's this woman at the bar who says, like, wasn't there a guy like 15 years ago who was in a wheelchair that was like, had like powers and like, fuck shit up? And then it's revealed that sitting next to her is no other than Bruce Willis. And it said, yeah, that was Mr. Glass, which is a reference to Unbreakable. So the big twist is that Split is in the same universe as another M. Night Shyamalan movie, Unbreakable, with Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson.
He plays Damon Dunn.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
I'm like, yeah. I didn't think of the fact that he left her alone as like a twist, but I definitely think that was an important, pivotal moment in the role.
Yeah. I wouldn't call it a twist other than like a big character revealing.
Mm-hmm.
But no, like that was definitely like a shocking scene. So like throughout the entire flick, there are flashbacks you see from Casey when she's probably like 5, 6 years old.
Yeah.
And she's probably a little bit older, maybe like 8.
She looked small.
Yeah. She's going hunting with her dad and uncle.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a scene where she's in the tent, she's awake, but her dad's asleep, and her uncle like wakes up for the day and goes out to start hunting whenever, and Casey's like goes out looking for him, and all of a sudden you see like the uncle kind of like pop out of this like behind this rock. He's like, "Hey Casey, come here, want to play animals?" And then she's like, "Okay," and then he walks like closer to him, and the camera turns around, and we see the uncle's like butt ass naked. He's like, "Come on. Animals don't wear their clothes. Take off your clothes, silly."
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's just like, "Oh, you motherfucker."
Yeah,
especially when she unzipped her coat, like, oh no. So
Yeah.
She we went and saw it at a theater where it was predominantly high schoolers that we went, which is not always the best way to see something, but
No.
regardless,
Unless it's a comedy,
it's
so much fun.
Which
I was surprised though.
They seem to find the comedy in any movie they watch.
Oh my!
Because like obviously this movie had like bits of humor, like something Hedwig would say or whatever.
It's like awkward tension.
But they were like laughing at that kind of scene, or we're making a big deal. I mean, obviously it is a big deal, but like
what's like, oh my god.
Yeah, they were just like being loud about it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I was just like silently reacting. They were like out loud.
And by the end of these flashbacks, like the uncle is getting dressed or whatever, and then he comes out from behind this rock, and all of a sudden, like 8-year-old Casey has a shotgun pointed right at the uncle, and he grabs it from her. It ends up not being loaded, but was like had the sense enough to be like, this is like fucked up. Like this shouldn't be happening. Like you need to die. And that's what we were all thinking throughout the entire movie. Like this uncle needs to die, which is kind of like, fuck you.
Yeah.
But then when it gets towards the end of the movie, the last like flashback we see is that her dad actually dies like off screen, and she ends up having to go live with her uncle. So
we kind of see why she's kind of like that outcast character.
And it kind of makes sense why she didn't react to like Kevin, like getting in the car at the very beginning, like the other girls did. She was like, she kind of just.
I
let
thought
it happen.
originally when that happened, when she was just kind of looking at him, it wasn't scared. I thought the twist was going to be like she knew him already, like a brother or something like that. I thought that was going to be the twist. But
So
was I wrong?
The character of James McAvoy sees this therapist, I guess you can call her.
She's a therapist, yeah.
But she's one of the only people in the entire world who really understands DID. And which is really cool about this movie is it really goes into how the different personalities that live inside somebody, they actually become like all these different people, like physically.
Right.
So one of James McAvoy's characters' names is Dennis, who Patrick was saying is kind of like this New Yorker OCD guy who's like the biggest guy in Kevin's like mental
He
state.
believes he's the tallest, but yet obviously it's one body, so he's not going to grow in height.
He believes he's a lot taller. But then he also has a character named Hedwig, who's this 9-year-old kid whose strength is not nearly as strong, obviously, as Dennis's, who's a full-grown man, but it's still like the same body. So it goes into all these like different beings. His second personality is named like Jade.
Jade, yeah.
And she has to take insulin because she's a diabetic. But it's still like the same person.
But nobody else, none of the other ones are.
None of the other ones have to take diabetes. It's just her. And Dennis was talking about a case in Germany where there was a woman who was blind but developed 3 personalities, and those personalities were not blind. Like they could see.
So only when she was in that first personality was she blind.
So like the whole like science, the real life science and science fiction aspect of this of the writing was just amazing. Like I thought the story itself was really cool, even just like seeing
Made
the
me
trailers.
wonder how much of it was really grounded in reality, in real science, or what was stretched for the.
He does a good job of like grounding all these ideas into reality. Even if like if you research it further, like no, this is all kind of bullshit. But for the movie's sake, I totally was like fascinated by like all these ideas.
It was really cool. And then what ends up happening is the 3 main characters, the personalities that we see, are Dennis, Miss Patricia, and Hedwig. And how it works in Kevin's brain is that all of his 23 personalities are sitting in a circle in chairs. And originally, one of his personalities, Barry, was the quote-unquote keeper of the light, which is the keeper of which personality gets the show.
Right.
Somewhere along the line, the light was taken from Barry by the 9-year-old Hedwig, which I don't understand that 9-year-old, but is taken by Hedwig, and Hedwig is influenced as a 9-year-old child by Dennis and Miss Patricia, who are full-grown people, saying that there is this beast deep inside Kevin's subconscious. And the beast is going to save them all. Hedwig keeps saying they're not going to make fun of me anymore. You know, he's a 9-year-old kid. He's always 9-year-old kids are always worried about that. And that's what's happening. So Hedwig now controls the light between Dennis and Miss Patricia. But in the beginning of the movie with this therapist, she will receive emails from Barry, who again was the original keeper of the light, and will come back go to the next day to their scheduled appointment or their emergency appointment or whatever, and it's Barry, but he's kind of being controlled by Dennis and Miss Patricia. It isn't the real Barry because Barry lost control of the light. So what ends up happening is when Hedwig goes asleep, one of the other personalities takes control of Kevin's body and tries to send like a SOS message to the therapist, Dr. Fletcher, saying like, we need help, like it's urgent.
So do we ever meet the real Barry? Or it's always Dennis playing Barry?
I think it's either Dennis playing Barry or it's kind of like Barry with a gun to his head.
Okay.
That's what I took it as.
Because now I think about it, the first scene when he's like walking around and pacing, and she's like, "What's wrong? You're kind of like pacing or whatever." I think about it, that might not have been the actual Barry.
That's true. It's probably Dennis, a person named Barry. But yeah, Barry's like he's a fashion designer, very flamboyant, really really funny character.
Yeah.
So is Hedwig. Like one of his things, like, "Were you trying to escape?" etc. Like one of those like one of those kids like hears like a big word, learns the meaning, and just like keeps saying it and saying it and saying it. Right. It's like, you can come to my room. I got a CD player. I listen to Kanye West. It's my jam. Just so
he said, "Can I kiss?" He said to Casey, "Can I kiss you?" And it's like the most awkward kiss ever.
To Casey, yeah.
And then he says like, "You might be pregnant."
Yeah, it's just so line. Funny. But and like Dr. Fletcher's like learning from like Barry and Dennis and everybody about this like beast and trying to like convince them that like this thing doesn't exist, it's not real. And what ends up happening is she goes to the zoo where Barry works to like try and like put some sense into Dennis.
Right.
Yeah, it's interesting. The personality of Barry only works at the zoo, even though this guy is DID. Very interesting. And like tries to talk sense as far as the beast goes. And then what ends up happening is Dennis and Patricia make their way to this subway station. Mm-hmm. And what happens is Kevin's dad left him at a train station when he was a kid.
Yes.
So the beast is kind of this like resurgence of emotion that's going on. And the beast is essentially this human being that the brain and all the different parts of the brain have expanded enough where this dude it's pretty much a superhero or a supervillain.
Yeah, it's an origin story basically.
Yeah, he has like he starts to squeeze Dr. Fletcher to like basically crush her spine, and she has this knife and like tries to stab him, and then all of a sudden you see like the knife like fall off because the dude's indestructible.
Yeah, it breaks apart.
Yeah, he basically has like all the powers of the animals at the zoo. So like when he squeezes her, it's like a boa constrictor just like sucking the life out of her.
Well, we don't know that at the time that they're at the zoo, so we're just like, oh, he's just this crazy beast thing. And then later on, it's kind of revealed that by studying the animals.
I still don't think it's studying the animals, to be honest with you. I think that's
I just took it from the news report.
Yeah, that's why I don't believe what anything the news says, though. You can't do that.
Media.
I just didn't think that.
And the beast part was like my least favorite part of it. Because I didn't like the supernatural element. I mean, with the ending, if it ties to Unbreakable, I guess it makes more sense, but I haven't seen that movie. So to me, if it was just like a normal like psychological thriller of like a guy with multiple personalities kidnapping people, and then somehow she did that same Wendell Crumb, and then killed him there, I would have been totally fine with that too. And we never saw the beast element.
Right.
I mean, you guys haven't seen Unbreakable.
Right?
No.
I think once you see Unbreakable and you understand, okay, the rules and like just how everything works, and it's like the most.
No, I wasn't upset because the movie sets itself up for a sequel.
Yeah, I know,
no,
but
definitely.
like in terms of the twist at the very end and why is he able to climb walls since it's a part of the Unbreakable universe? Apparently, yeah, where superheroes exist
That's
in
what I'm
a
saying.
very
Like
grounded
now,
way.
knowing the ending, it's a little better. For
Yeah,
me.
if you watch it, the ending makes more sense.
Yeah. And then the whole thing with the impurities. So what my theory was, and you guys kind of like agree with me in the car a little bit of like, was that because Kevin, the body is such a broken person with all these personalities, Dennis and Miss Patricia believe that the beast can like fix the more unpure people, and by unpure, it's basically like you're super privileged human beings. So what ends up happening is during Barry's job at the zoo, there is a high school field trip.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently during this field trip, there were two girls who walked up to Barry, took his hand, and forced his hand up their shirts to like feel their breasts, and they walked away giggling to their friends. Is the
It's
story.
like a dare.
Like a dare, yeah. Those two girls were Claire and Marcia, who were the girls who were also captured with Casey.
We think so.
We think so. By the way, black girl named Marcia. Don't understand it. Anyway, but we think those are the two girls who did that to Barry. And Casey just happened to be with them because at the beginning, Claire's having a birthday party. Her dad is initially taking Marcia home with them, but Casey's ride, the car broke down or something. So the dad's like, "Oh, I'll give you a ride, no problem."
I think she was lying.
She probably was.
Yeah.
But either way, either way, the dad had to give her a ride. So Casey wasn't even part of the plan. It was really just Patricia and Claire, or Marcia and Claire.
Right.
So we think it's those two girls of like the unpure who never had to suffer for anything. And by the way, Claire and Marcia were just the most annoying. Marcia wasn't too bad. Claire was so annoying.
Yeah.
Marcia was just like a follower.
She was definitely a follower, but like Claire's like, I took a 6-month self-defense class at the King of Prussia. Like, we can definitely get out of here.
Yeah.
It's like, shut the fuck up, turtleneck sweater.
She was still really attractive, so I didn't mind it.
And she was still like,
Dude, Marcia was attractive.
Yeah. They all were.
Yeah.
I liked them all. Go on, Patrick.
I mean, at least like the girl, especially even Claire, she was like proactive. She was trying to escape, so she wasn't like
she wasn't a victim.
Yeah, she wasn't complaining throughout. She wasn't like Kate Capshaw in the Temple of Doom. She was like trying to escape. So, but yeah, she was still annoying. But at least
she was trying to escape, but she was still complaining a lot.
I know she was, but like it's like
I'd rather an annoying like fighter than a whiny victim. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm glad to see
yeah.
that at least they're trying.
Yeah.
To get out and stuff.
But I think that's all of the plot elements.
Well, so I kind of explained or started to say it, but how she ends up kind of calming him down a little bit is before Dr. Fletcher dies, she's able to say his name, Kevin Wendell Crumb. And it's really poorly written and stuff. And then she gets squeezed and stuff. And then a few minutes later, when Casey's in there, she sees it on the desk to say his name. So when he comes in as full like beast mode, she just keeps saying it like Kevin Wendell Crumb, Kevin Wendell Crumb. And it ends up like turning him back into Kevin. So it's the first and only time we see him as Kevin.
It's basically like, did you turn it off and on? Like, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah. And so he comes in, he's like, what happened? What did I do? Like, isn't this 2014? So basically you find out that assuming it's present day, he hasn't been Kevin in almost 3 years. And like all the other personalities have taken over at this point to protect him.
Yeah, the whole thing is like to protect him because like Kevin had an abusive mother who we see there's a flashback of like him hiding under the bed, and the mother has like a coat hanger like ready to kill or ready to like
beat him, yeah,
tear the crap out of this He's 3. He's like a 3-year-old child hiding under the bed
because he made a mess.
Yeah, so like
which is part of the OCD thing later on because Dennis is like they get like a crumb. He's like, you have a crumb on your sweatshirt, take it off. You got to give it to me.
You have a crumb. You have a crumb on your sweatshirt.
Just take it off.
Just take it off. Yeah, it's just so funny.
Yeah. So like they ended up with like less clothes than they started.
But I'm really excited. I hope that the sequel does happen, and if so, I want to like see more of the origins of the personalities.
Before we came here, I read that it's an Unbreakable sequel is coming.
Unbreakable sequel?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But you'll probably tie the two together.
All right. Yeah, but like the only like real origin we got is with Dennis, and even then he was already lying to Dr. Fletcher about not seeing the Beast before, so I don't know how that works out. But no, like I like to see more of the origins and like why they came about to like protect Kevin.
Right.
Very interesting.
Yeah, hopefully we see more of James McAvoy's characters
Yeah.
in future installments and stuff. It'd be a good follow-up for him from Charles Xavier.
Yeah.
I would like to see Casey in it too. I think. I don't know.
Yeah, they
I
could work her
liked her
back
as
in.
I liked her as a protagonist. I wouldn't mind seeing her again.
I'm over it.
If it works, there's my brother. If it works, over there. You see the kid in the hat, the green hat with the ball on it? He's like in front of him.
Okay.
Anyway, if it works for Casey to be there, then totally. But if they're just putting her in there to put her in there, then don't bother.
I was gonna say I'm over it. Falcons advance to the Super Bowl, beating the Packers 44-21.
Yahas.
Aaron Rodgers is overrated.
Yahas.
I'm sorry. I was just so sick of all the Aaron Rodgers news. All like Aaron Rodgers, the greatest Hail Mary thrower. No, it's during Hail Marys. Yes, you can get it down 60 yards. It's pretty impressive, but it's all about the receivers who catch it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like he's like pinpointing the accuracy
Or
of receivers.
Defenders that don't catch it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm a Giants fan. I think none of us are, Packers fans or anything, but I was definitely rooting for the Falcons just because they haven't been there in years and years. So I always like an underdog. So I would say I want Packers. I want Falcons and Steelers.
Fuck you. Fuck Pittsburgh.
I just don't want the Patriots in it.
They're probably going to
gonna
win. I definitely think they have a really good chance of beating the Steelers today, especially with Antonio Brown suspended for one game. That takes away the deep ball for the Patriot or for the Steelers, which is a lot of their passing game.
Do you think if they win, do you think they'll win the Super Bowl too? Or do you think Falcons will definitely give them a run?
I don't know,
money.
man. Falcons have some like really strong
They're connecting
players
pretty well.
that really influence the team in a positive way. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm all Falcons for the rest of them. I want to see them win.
I'm a Ravens fan. I really don't care who wins.
Oh, yeah, at the end of the day, it doesn't really make a difference to me, but
I personally think the Patriots are going to win, but I'm not like cheering for any team.
right.
It'd be nice to see the Falcons win. It'd be great for Matt Ryan to finally earn the money he's been given, but see how it goes. Joe Flacco can't seem to be doing that. So
You just missed him again.
I'll see.
Yeah. I just got him the Echo. I want to see how it works in his room.
Okay.
Afterwards, we'll stop by.
So what's next?
What's next? So the rest of this is pretty much just more like announcing things. It's we can talk about it as we want, but I'll save that for a second. So if you're a fan of House of Cards, which I really hope you all are because it's a really good show. It's premiering May 30th, 2017, which is kind of odd.
So hard of blue balls right now, man.
Because normally it premieres in February. Like the first 3 seasons, I think, were February. Last season was March, and now this season's May. So I don't know if there was like a holdup in maybe their busy schedules. Maybe it might have been Kevin Spacey was doing something or whatever.
It's killing me.
They also lost their showrunner, Bo Wilmington.
I think I don't think it's Wilmington. I think was it Williams?
Well, it's like Willimon or something.
Okay.
Either way, the main showrunner that was there for the first 4 seasons is now gone, so they're under new management, if you will. So I'd be curious to see how that goes. But the teaser trailer was really like perfect for exactly what it needed. It was basically a bunch of kids like saying the Pledge of Allegiance, but for some reason it sounded really creepy, and they like zoom out from a flag that is revealed to be upside down, which. An upside down flag is usually meaning like trouble, like we need help kind of thing. So it was like waving over the White House or the Congress.
It was
the Capitol.
Probably the Capitol.
Okay, so it was waving upside down over the Capitol, and then like that's it. It's like 15 seconds or something like that.
So cool.
But yeah, really looking forward to that. So that's coming. For Will and Grace fans, there's a 10-episode arc returning, a new season coming on NBC in the fall. I guess people are just keeping going with this revival television thing. They instead of coming up with new ideas, why don't we just dust off old ideas, basically? Wayne's World is returning to theaters for the 25th anniversary in February.
Excellent.
Party on. We'll probably go see that. As Greg said, I'll finally have a reason to wear my Wayne's World hat in public. And this one I just saw. I don't really know what else to say to it other than Jennifer Aniston is considering returning to television because she knows that's where the stories are. So it'd be cool to see her on a weekly basis if you're a big Jennifer Aniston fan.
Of course.
Patrick wanted me to put this in there. Donald Trump is the president now.
And that's that.
And time will tell, I guess. And then the last 2 things, we can decide which one we want to do first. Do you want to talk about the Logan trailer or you want to talk about Shazam being 2 movies?
Let's talk about Logan trailer.
Okay. So If you haven't seen already, we did a live reaction video to the second trailer. It's on our YouTube channel where this will be. It's only a couple minutes long, and well, it's pretty much the length of the trailer with a couple minutes at the beginning and the end. We all, I think, were really impressed by it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a different trailer than the first one. The first one played more to the emotional side, as far as like being a sad, somber story with Johnny Cash's Hurt.
I cried.
I did almost cry myself. And then this one played a little more to the action, and it played more to X-23, and gave a little more better idea of what the story's about. And I think I ended up watching it three times.
But even then, like I was reading a Hugh Jackman interview today, and like the universe they're set in, it's like he says it's its own paradigm. Like it's kind of the universe, but it's not really the universe.
Yeah, I know.
Like it's like this it's like this whole thing. Which
There's no point in following it.
No. I mean that's with really any of the X-Men movies or the X-Men movies, Wolverine movies.
Wolverine, yeah.
Especially what was it? There was the Wolverine, which was
Which got erased from the timeline.
that was X-Men Origins Wolverine.
No, so did the Wolverine did too.
Then the Wolverine, and then there's Logan. But like even them, it's just like standalone Wolverine movies. But this one just looks so good.
Well, they wanted to do something different. They were describing it as like Unforgiven of a superhero movie.
Yeah, it was like Unforgiven. What was the other one he said? I forget what it was. Damn it.
But Unforgiven, it makes sense just from what I've seen. It kind of is like the aging warrior hero who has to kind of saddle up one last time to defend people.
Yeah, no, it definitely, the trailer definitely makes it look that way.
Mm-hmm.
And the X-23 looks like such a badass, man.
I know, for being a 8-year-old girl or whatever she is.
Like she got a little Hugh Jackman.
Now she had 2 claws, right? That's her thing.
Yeah.
She's got
two claws per. Yeah.
Now, when I watched the trailer, and if you go back and watch the video, I thought they were bone claws. I was obviously mistaken. They are metal adamantium claws.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, they explain how she has adamantium, unless she's just a perfect copy. So they literally just took his DNA and made it exactly the same, except she's a girl.
Mm-hmm.
Then I guess it makes sense. But yeah, so she only has 4 claws versus his 6.
But she's still twice the badass.
Still so cool. They had a lot of like Wolverine moves where she would like jump off his back and did like the flying through the air claws out move, which was sick.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really setting it up that Logan is not making it to the end. Especially there was that one scene towards the end of the trailer where she's like holding his like hand and he's like covered in blood and like laying on the ground. I don't think Charles Xavier's making. I think they're just cleaning the house on this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully.
And like X-23 will be the last one standing, kind of thing.
I hope Hugh Jackman's Wolverine dies.
It sounds cruel, but I do too.
Because if it's going to, this is the movie to do it. He keeps
Yeah.
talking. This is the last time I'm playing Wolverine, and the producer said, "Then make the movie you want to make."
Mm-hmm.
And
It's R-rated.
It's an R-rated Wolverine film. Finally, dude took a pay cut. Thank you.
And Deadpool definitely had a big help on that.
Oh yeah, but this is my most anticipated movie of the year, and it's only in February.
I mean, it's only a month away.
I know, and I cannot wait to see it. I just can't.
Month and change away. Yeah, I mean, it's up there. I can never remember. We did a list of like our most anticipated. It was like 1 or 2 for
I
me.
can only remember like 2. But
Yeah.
that's about it.
A lot of superhero movies coming out.
There was another trailer that came out this week.
It's Power Rangers, right?
There was the Power Rangers trailer.
Oh
that came
yeah,
out
we can
this
mention
week.
that.
So this is the second trailer of the Power Rangers movie.
Mm-hmm.
The first one was definitely just like an origins trailer.
Yeah, they don't want to reveal too much. and stuff.
It gave you pretty much the summary of the first act.
Right.
This one was definitely more a summary of the second act and probably most of the third.
Mm-hmm.
Bryan Cranston as Zordon. It looks sick. A lot of people are upset. I think it looks sick.
As much as I like Bryan Cranston, I don't think he has the voice for Zordon. Obviously, it's the baldness of he works for that part.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like booming voice.
But you need you need more of like a powerful voice to be Zordon because he's just a freaking head with a voice. So you need Bryan Cranston to me is just he'll always be the Malcolm in the Middle dad to me. So it's just like you're the Malcolm in the Middle dad helping the Power Rangers. So
I think Bryan Cranston sounds great.
Yeah,
personally,
it looks cool. I like the design they did.
It looks cool. The second trailer, this trailer just came out, really makes it look like a classic Power Rangers movie, television show, whatever you want to call it. Special effects kind of look cheesy. Love it.
Well, and I don't know if that's just because they're still editing or if they're doing it on purpose. But.
I do agree. I'm not a huge fan of like the helmets and how you can kind of like see
they
faces.
open them up and stuff. Yeah,
I'm not a huge fan of that.
Nah.
I get it because it seems more real compared to the ones where they're just wearing the masks and that you hear them talking, but you see like no lips moving.
Right.
So I understand kind of where they're coming from for that.
It's a movie actor; they got to see their faces.
Yeah, but it looks just as cheesy, and I think that's what the fans will appreciate the most is how true it is to the original form.
As long as it doesn't deviate too much, because I know like, okay, think of Zordon, right? He's normally in a tank of water kind of thing, and now he's like this cube wall, like digi-cube wall, and then you had Alpha 5, who's it used to be like more of like a UFO looking head, and now he's got like bug eyes and kind of so it's like they're changing it, and hopefully it's not all for the worse. Hopefully some of it kind of works. Obviously the most important part is the Power Rangers and Rita Repulsa, who Elizabeth Banks. I don't know. I love Elizabeth Banks. I think she's a great actress, but I don't think she has the mean chops to be Rita Repulsa. I don't know.
I think she was actually like almost like kind of like throwing one of them against the wall, which like in the show, Rita Repulsa, she never really did that. She was just kind of like. She was just like yell and point at.
Yeah, she was always him from a distance.
So like now the fact she's like in like one of their bedrooms and just like slamming against the walls, like actually kind of crosses that line.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not the character that I have the problem with. I think it's just Elizabeth Banks cast as the thing, and I could be wrong. Once I see it, maybe I'll change my mind. But this is probably one that I'll wait to see. I don't need to go see it in theaters. I don't think.
No.
I'll probably red box it or something.
Same here. Like Power Rangers, like I loved it as a kid, but just when I got older, it didn't really hold up for me at all. Even from like a nostalgic level, like God, this is some goofy shit.
Oh,
I can't.
I get a kick out of it.
I can't watch it.
It's so funny. It's hilarious.
All right, Mighty Morphin's the best ones.
It's debatable.
They were around the longest, and that's the ones that are adapting now.
Cool.
So you can argue.
It's morphin time.
Yeah, it is morphin time. Go ahead, Greg. I know you're demoted to third, but you can say some of your stuff.
Since I'm demoted to third, that means I can say the closing remark, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
right.
okay. So make sure you subscribe to us and like us on Facebook, and check out our friend Lethal Llama on Facebook. It's 2 L's and E's and
2 E's.
2 E's and stuff. A lot of letters in there. It's like a little llama holding a knife. So if you find that on there, subscribe to him. He does a lot of game commentary and stuff like that. He's great. Ryan Share. And then also, if you can find Young Poet on YouTube, find them, listen to them. They're great. Seth is coming to us with a project because we just need more things to work on. We're working on like 6 projects right now, but hey, party on. And support your local arts, kids.
Cool. Be sure to check us out. The same geek time, same geek channel.
Nice.
Nailed it.